Alrighty then. Y'all see this on my face? I don't want to hear nothing about it. I got a facial. You know, I had to get ready for the event that I hope y'all RSVP to. Don't play with that girl, all right? And if y'all can accept me now, then the glow up, I don't want to hear it, okay?
What happened to your face?
That's not funny. You just see me explain to him what happened. Go to camera one so I can see what you talk about, because I don't know what you talk about. I look good. Hey, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Impact, episode 47. Y'all, it is a regular introduction, but not regular. It's just a different type of regular because we have somebody exotic in the building. I'm talking about Black. Yes, don't we love the Black in the Black community? Not only Black, but golden? Golden in the gold. Are you golden enough for this impact? Let's find out. Giving y'all something y'all haven't seen before, okay? Everybody be on Instagram talking about, oh, they need to go to a therapist. They need to make sure they find a Black therapist. They need to... Stop looking. You know why? We have Imani.InTouch in the building, y'all. Let's find out who she is, why she's here, what she's doing, and what she's up to.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So yes, my name is Imani. I'm a marriage and family therapist located in Long Island in New York. I work in Manhattan, so I work in the city, and I see clients remotely as of right now. However, aside from all of that, I am a millennial therapist. I advocate for mental health, learning a little bit of psychoeducation, growing, and just creating that space for healing. So my main page is Imani.InTouch on Instagram, where I create content that I feel like resonates with a lot of what our generation goes through.
Exactly. And so with that being said, I mean, what really triggered you to know that this is exactly what our community needs, the therapist, the guidance?
Yeah. So I think for me, I grew up in a family that was very like together.
Mm-hmm. You and your sisters are something. They all look like.
Yeah. Sometimes a little bit too much together.
Right.
But I saw like a lot of the love that I received and like the support I received. And I also, once I went to college, I saw that a lot of other people maybe didn't have that. Weren't fortunate enough to have that. So that's when I kind of really started diving into like mental health and like what that looks like, dealing with kind of like my own issues within myself.
Right.
Some friends that I had in the past or like relationships I had in the past. Like I think I've always been a pretty like intuitive person. Mm-hmm. So I'm really able to just like kind of connect with people like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like this has always been something that I was supposed to be doing, but I think it wasn't until I was in college where I kind of was like, all right, like let me just tap into this and see what it's all about. Yeah.
And so, I mean, just a little quick behind the scenes. Y'all know y'all love the behind the scenes. Me and Imani actually knew each other before, we decided to intertwine our businesses. And I can definitely vouch for the fact that like we were just clicked automatically. We had good vibes, good intentions, and we was always just in the spot, I mean, if you know, you know. If you don't, now you know because we right here.
Right.
And so with that being said, I mean, the career that you're choosing now, did you really stumble upon it, or was something like triggering that you knew, okay, this is why I have to do it?
Yeah. So I think pretty much all of my life, I've always been like, that helping friend.
Yeah.
Like the one that like everybody goes to for advice. And I'm kind of just like the shoulder that everybody kind of like leans on in their time of need.
Right.
So I've always liked to help in that way. But, like I was saying before, it wasn't until I was in school and I was experiencing so much that I was like, okay, let me like more so tap into this. Right. But still, like when I was doing my bachelor's, I actually got my bachelor's in family and consumer sciences. Okay. So that's more of kind of like home economics or maybe getting into like case managing and stuff like that. When I was doing my bachelor's, I was going through so much that I didn't really know what I really wanted to do.
How many of y'all can relate? Comment below if you either undecided or you was undecided for how long or you was just trying to figure it out, because Lord knows I know everybody I went to school with was.
Yeah, I was just kind of like floating in. I'm like,
okay, let me get my bachelor's. I'm making my parents proud.
Right, exactly. That's literally what I'm here doing. Right. Literally what I'm here doing. So, I remember I had first got to Morgan. I went to Morgan State. Shout out to any of you guys who went to Morgan. But so I went to Morgan and I started out as an elementary education major because I thought that I wanted to be a teacher.
Right.
And then I got into it and we started kind of making lessons plans and like seeing students. And I was like, I don't like this.
Right.
I don't like this at all. So after that, I switched to family and consumer sciences, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Like, just finish out the rest of these 4 years. Like, you'll be fine.
Right.
You'll figure it out. Like,
Regardless.
after this, if you decide to go for your master's or whatever the case may be. So, graduated, came back home to New York. I was pretty much just working, and then that's when I met you. And we was working in a restaurant.
Yes.
And that was
I
in the
forgot
middle.
all the way about that.
Yeah.
I went straight to the church.
Oh, yep. The unspoken days.
That were great.
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
you're like, oh wow.
But let's just keep it like in the back of our mind.
Right.
But we needed it to get here. So.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm glad it happened because we would have never known each other.
Exactly.
And we was making money. Stop playing. All that. So you briefly mentioned about how you thought you wanted to teach, but I mean, the therapist and how you have your own clients, that's still teaching. Do you get most of your teachings from what you learned in school or mostly through your experience with other people?
So my experiences and then also my own individual reading.
Okay.
So what I was saying to you before was like that year that I met you was actually the year I was taking off from school to really figure out what I wanted to do. Because I'm like, I can't just keep like going to school and not knowing what I'm doing, wasting money, wasting time. I'm like, this is ridiculous at this point.
Shout out to Biden on moving them loans back again.
Okay. I graduated in December, so they're like knocking on my door. I'm
me too. Oh my goodness. Oh my
please. But yeah, so I took that year off to really figure out what it is that I wanted to do. And so I was researching just a whole bunch of like, what would it, I like to give advice. I like to talk to people. I like to help people. So like, what is it like to kind of be in the therapy field? Mm-hmm. And that's when I kind of like, really thought about it. And I thought about what is it about helping people that like I really like to talk about. And that's dating and relationships.
Wow.
So that's when I stumbled across Hofstra University. And they have a marriage and family therapy program. Mm-hmm. So I was in that program for about 3 years and I graduated and now I'm here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the journey, it kind of kept going and now you found your platform and now you're building it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what does it now look like? Because we're going to get a little deeper. I know y'all be hesitant in avoiding the therapy, but it has to happen. You need to speak on things. So now what does it look like somebody that's looking for a consultation or somebody that's maybe hesitant but want to get into Imani.InTouch?
Yeah. So like I said, I think on my platform, I pretty much try to do everything that I kind of already do in therapy, get people to see things from like a different perspective, maybe like those blind spots that they're not seeing. So in terms of like scheduling a consultation, I'm on Psychology Today. Right. And then I'm also on ZocDoc as well. And then I'm also on LinkedIn as well. So you'll be able to find me on like all of these platforms. And ZocDoc and Psychology Today, they have a plethora of therapists. So even if it's not me and it's someone else that you want to go to, depending on like whatever your situation is or what it is that you're looking for, you're able to do that through those websites. So anyone who is skeptical, I would say, you got to be a little bit uncomfortable to grow.
Ooh, I said that this morning. I said that this morning to my twin. I was like, you can't grow without being uncomfortable because then you're complacent and you're comfortable with where you are. So why would you ever want to escalate?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah. So like you have to do that. And that's what I see a lot of the times with the clients that I do get. Like they come in and they're like, I don't really know about this.
Talk to you.
Right. It takes them a while to really kind of just like open up. And so like even just my spiel in doing like a first consultation, I'll tell them like what therapy is about. I'll ask them if they ever did therapy before. What are their goals for therapy? What's my individual approach? What's my belief about therapy and what it is to come and like get all of this help and stuff like that. Wow. So I try to make it as friendly and as comfortable as possible so we can build that relationship to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that it's working in your favor. But I mean, it's the effort. It's the work that you're putting behind it.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, I mean, do you plan on leading to your own practice? Is that something like a long-term goal or something we can help you with?
I definitely want to do that. So right now what's happening is I'm in the process of getting like my state licensure.
Wow.
So yeah.
Official tissue. Don't play with that girl.
like the official certification to say like, okay, like she's like fully licensed and she can like do this. I can do like whatever I want pretty much when I'm licensed, as long as it's following state regulations. But right now I'm working for a private practice. So pretty much what that is, it's just like a small group practice with maybe like 4 other therapists. And we pretty much do therapy. And then there's our supervisor. And she owns it. So like kind of seeing what she goes through, I'm just like, oh,
Right. That's not, because I'm like, honestly, like, how do you really deal with what you deal with? Because you take on so many, I don't want to say struggles, but you take on so many struggles and so many just information from other people. So how does that affect you? How do you keep a level head?
Yeah. When I was interning, when I was still in my master's program, just getting my hours just to graduate, I found myself internalizing like a lot of people's problems. So like I would see someone and then I'm thinking about them at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
When I shouldn't be
because you're emotionally connected.
Yeah. So in the beginning, that's kind of meant to happen because you're learning and you're figuring out how to like compartmentalize and just like, you know, keep work and keep yourself
separate.
Right. So in the beginning, it was really hard for me to do it. Now I know to kind of like leave work at work. Like my work at this point is when I open up my MacBook and I'm logging on to go see a client. So I bear it all out there. And then once I'm done, like maybe even sometimes I usually have like 15-minute breaks in between. My sessions are about 45 minutes. So I'll take that if I feel like, you know, like that was an intense session and stuff. Like I'll take that to like
move that on to the next client.
I'll take that to kind of just like woosah and like calm down, maybe play with my dog, listen to some music. So I think just finding those little ways also helps a lot.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so exciting. Like, it's the license and the state, everything coming together, because I feel like a lot of people love to give, you know, advice or at least, you know, help other people. But it's one thing to do that. And then it's one thing to officially do it and put your foot forward and say, hey, I'm dedicating myself to y'all. This is exactly what I want to do. So now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's
and I was
amazing.
actually, that's funny that you bring it up because I was actually talking to somebody about that earlier today, because a lot of people have this misconception that like, oh, I'm going to go to a therapist and they're going to tell me what I need to do.
Right.
And
that's not what that's not what it's about.
No. Like, I'm never going to tell one of my clients like, oh yeah, I think you should quit your job. Or like, I think you should leave that relationship.
That's how you get sued.
Yeah. So, like, then next thing you know, they come to me like, you ruined my life.
Right.
I'm like,
girl, you should have thought. Common sense is common. Don't tell me it's not common.
Yeah. So a lot of the times, like, it's really just about us guiding you to what you really want to do anyway. But it's just kind of buried underneath, whether it's trauma, fear, shame, guilt, like all of those feelings that we feel, but nobody ever like wants to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm just taking the stuff that's piled on top just off, so you're able to kind of see things more clearly, so you can come to a decision in terms of what you want.
You can come to the decision.
Yeah.
You come to the decision. Yeah. You yourself. Self-actualization.
Yes.
Ugh. I love it.
That's like my favorite word.
Literally, I said it maybe 3 times this week.
Yeah. And especially on my page, that's what I talk about. Like, you know, when you grow up in certain environments and you go through certain traumatic situations and heartbreaks and stuff like that, like it creates this sense of like, you start to kind of like create this like shell over you. Like you're scared to do this, scared to do that.
Because that's what happened last time. So it's definitely going to happen again.
Right. So like everybody's kind of like just walking around on autopilot, like thinking that this is really who they are, but they aren't. It's just now, once you're in therapy and you do all this inner work and stuff, you're really returning back to who you were before like all that stuff happened. So you're able to see it with more of like a clear view rather than operating from like fear.
That's amazing. I'm so excited to welcome you into the golden community for real. Like, are y'all golden enough for this impact? Because this is going to impact you tremendously. Whether you book a consultation, whether you're just on her Instagram page. We've been monitoring your Instagram page. It was going up. This girl just skyrocketed and everybody needs to know about her. If you not on the wave, you gonna get left or drowned. Okay? I'm so proud of you for real.
Yeah. It was like really crazy because I started my page in December. And so like I've just been getting like a nice following and stuff ever since. But somebody actually had reposted one of my like how to love yourself threads. And I think that they had like a huge following. So like I remember I woke up one morning, I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
And it was just like so much people. So like even more as of recently, like my stuff's just been like getting out there. And I was even at the corner store the other day. And this girl came up to me and she's like, oh my gosh, I follow your page on Instagram. Like, I think you like went to school with like one of my friends and like I found your page and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't even know how to respond.
Told y'all are celebrities from the moment y'all start y'all passion and y'all stick to it. Stop playing. Don't play with that girl. Don't play with this girl. Like, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Like, everybody, y'all already know when it comes to the Golden Impact, when you get on here, you are big automatically. Why?
Yeah.
Because if you're consistent, persistent, and efficient, it will happen. That's it, and that's all.
Yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so, because you are our first therapist, marriage therapist, family therapist, I mean, is there anything that you would like to say to our audience, our viewers, our subscribers, anything that they could take with them from this episode?
Yeah. Don't be afraid to do the work. And when I'm talking about work, it's more so kind of just like looking within yourself. And I know a lot of the times like society doesn't really teach us how to do that or encourage us to do that. But it's really important to do that for the sake of your being, the sake of the relationships that you're in, the sake of, you know, your family and like generations after you. So if that's something that's really important to you, this is a part of the process. And even if it doesn't look like going to therapy, maybe it looks like getting a coach or starting to meditate or going to a church, like whatever works for you to kind of get more in tune with yourself. I'm telling you, it's like the greatest gift you can give to yourself.
Like, I believe it. I literally believe it because I don't know what, I can't remember the exact day it happened, but it definitely was like right before I was graduating in college. And I was just like, there's so many things that I was learning. And I was just like, wait, if I just stop, take a second, realize who I am, realize what I want, and realize what I want for myself. Oh, I know what it was. I started reading again.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Girl, when I was at the end of high school going into college, I was like, reading is giving me headaches. I can't do it. Like, I just can't. Like, this is too much. It's too much. But obviously, that was young Ruby talking. And then Ruby got older. And I'm reading books on self-actualizations, how to change your mind, how to change the way you think, how to love. I'm just like, you don't take everything word for word, but you make it your own.
Yeah.
And then you live that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, like, okay, all you have to do is just do it. Nike should be up. Their stock should be up because just do it. Like, that's the only way you'll be able to get what you want in life. And I really feel like the therapy, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
so many people like shy away from like just even that experience that you went through, like doing the work, doing the reading, like making sure that you're really in tune with your emotions. Some emotions for people are just like intolerable.
Yo, like they just can't handle it.
They just like, no, I don't want to deal with it.
Why? And honestly, everybody takes their own times, their own path, but don't stray away from something, especially if it keeps knocking at your door. Like, hello, this keeps happening to you. Why? Like,
yeah. And some people like that's what I was talking about with like trauma and like things that cause us wounds. It like puts on these like glasses for us where it was like, oh, okay, like that's just how I am. Like I know that I have like a short temper, but like that's just me. I was like born with this. It's like, no.
Yeah, no, you don't have to be that way. Let Imani.InTouch on your life. And so, I mean, just before we head out, is there any last remarks or anything you want to say to our audience, our viewers for Imani.InTouch?
Yeah, so feel free to reach out to me if you are interested in therapy or just learning about mental health, getting some information. My DMs are always open. Unfortunately, I can't answer personal advice, but if you're asking me general questions, I will be more than happy to help you. So yeah.
Absolutely, y'all. The society that we're in, it's like we can really go left or we can go right.
Yeah.
And so y'all are already starting with the best option by tuning into this episode and absolutely subscribing, liking, and always commenting, because this is now you're in touch with Imani.
Yes.
And so with all of that being said, y'all, we always appreciate and love the TLC, but y'all already know it's the SLC that keeps us going. The subscribe, likes, and comments. But just before I let y'all go to bang that bell, y'all already know y'all need to RSVP. I'm not going to tell y'all once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. There's limited seats. It's now general admission, so there's no holding seats. The priority is done, out the way. There is the drinks, there's the mimosas, there's the dance, there's the reveals, there is the hookah. I know y'all love hookah. I don't love hookah, but I know y'all love hookah. There is pictures and videos and raffles of our clients giving away their products and services. So definitely, if you have any questions or you're just worried or concerned or you haven't been able to, reach out to us on our Instagram. Y'all already know, _the Golden Impact. And then on top of that, come out, support your local business owners, and let's see what the Golden Impact has to tell, because it's a tale that we have to tell. I get it. I like that. All right. We on our way out, and we will see y'all very soon. The very next week. Y'all know we keep the videos coming every week. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay in tune. It's the journey. We don't want y'all to get left. Ride the wave. Don't drown. Why would you want to drown? You can't live. So subscribe, like, comment, and y'all already know. Bang that bell for the next episode. We'll see y'all real soon.